Hello and welcome to today's final match of the 2022 Okaloosa County High School Academic Tournament. This year we have had 6 schools from Okaloosa County going head-to-head in a double elimination format. These standout students have been displaying their knowledge of math, science, history, fine arts and literature, pop culture, and more to be able to reach today's championship match. I'm your host and moderator, David Honsinger. Lisa Null will be our timekeeper and scorekeeper, while Nathan Cook and Eric Bernal will serve as our chief judges and make all the final decisions on all things official. Nathan Cook is a chief test engineer at the 40th Flight Test Squadron. Mr. Cook is a test pilot school graduate flight test engineer with degrees in physics, education, engineering, and analytics. He is a California native and has lived in Okaloosa County for almost 9 years. Lieutenant Eric Bernal is test engineer at the 28th Test and Evaluation Squadron. Lieutenant Bernal is an air-to-ground weapons test engineer with a bachelor's and master's degree in mechanical engineering with a focus on modeling and simulation. He is from Columbus, Ohio, and is a proud Ohio State Buckeye. Our teams today for the final will be Crestview High School and Niceville High School. We'll take a moment, hear from some of our schools, and we'll be back right after this.
I chose to come to collegiate high school because you get free college and your high school diploma at the same time, and that's the best opportunity for any high school student.
I wanted to grow as an individual, and so I decided to move here to not be grouped into these different categories that you'd find in like traditional high schools.
I came to collegiate because I wanted to get used to college work and just being in a college environment before I actually move on to a bigger university.
The thing that makes Collegiate High different from other schools in Okaloosa County is that we're a small school. Students that attend the Collegiate High School are not just a number. We know students by name because of the small school atmosphere.
So what's great about this school is that all the faculty are here to help you.
They want them to excel in their academic life and personal life.
At the other schools, I felt like I wasn't quite being challenged enough in all the fields, but here it's like, you have teachers that teach you well, and they teach you what's going to be applied in the future.
Many students think that if you go to collegiate, you can't play sports, you can't be in music, you can't be a high school student, but I still went to homecoming. I still went to the football games, I had fun with all my friends, and collegiate doesn't take that away from you. It adds on to your amazing personality.
In order to be successful at Collegiate High School, motivation, student motivation. You have to be academically motivated because you'll be academically challenged.
But when you go to a university, they'll see that you're dedicated and you're willing to take the course load that you'll be taking.
Let's say if you come one thought. This thought is that you are unstoppable. Because if you come here thinking, there's going to be too much work, there will be. It's not an easy school, it's a tough school. But you're going to come, and if you come thinking that nothing will stop, you will be successful, and you will be a college student.
Welcome back. Let's meet our teams for this final match. First, under the coaching of Mr. Justin Reichert, we have Niceville High School.
John Cathell, senior.
Kendall Small, junior.
Nick Ford, junior.
Vivian Price, junior.
And their opponents today, under the coaching of Erica Kennedy, we have Crestview High School.
Sophia Rivera, junior.
Isaiah Norris, junior.
Ananda Husto, junior.
Max Stewart, freshman.
And now that we've met all our players, let's go ahead and get started with today's first toss-up question. The category is social studies. As a noun, this word describes each of 25 official periods of fighting during the Civil War, including those named Valley, Franklin, Petersburg, and Wilderness. As a verb, this word describes all the things a political candidate does to win an election, including fundraising.
Campaign.
Campaign is the correct answer. Your bonuses are literature questions. Answer these about authors with a street named for them in Surfside, Florida. This British aristocrat and poet wrote Childe Harold's Pilgrimage and Don Juan.
Okay, so it's British. That's a good guess.
Lord Byron.
Byron is correct.
Yes.
95th Street in Surfside has been renamed for Isaac Bashevis Singer, a native of Poland who came to the U.S. and won the Nobel Prize in Literature for his works in this language, a combination of German and Hebrew that gave us words like glitch and bagel.
Yiddish.
Yiddish is correct. Our next toss-up is a science question. This type of substance can be used to put out a small fire caused by a flammable liquid and also describes the silver halide gelatin combination seen in photographic film. More often, this type of substance is found in foods like butter, mayonnaise, and vinaigrette salad dressing. Give this chemical term, considered a subset of a colloid, for a substance made of two liquids that don't mix well, like oil and water.
Suspension?
Nope, that is incorrect.
Lipid.
No, it's an emulsion. Our next toss-up is a literature question. It will see the deaths of the serpent Jormungand and the wolf Fenrir, but also the deaths of the gods Odin and Thor.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok is the correct answer. Your bonuses are social studies questions. Answer these about fads in the US in 1940s. Some people can get this toy made of coiled plastic or metal to go slowly down a staircase by itself. The writer has never succeeded.
Slinky.
Slinky is the correct answer. American GIs claimed this large-nosed man was here by drawing him looking over a wall.
No, it's this guy. You seen him?
Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head.
Kilroy was here. Our next toss-up is a math question. Pencils and paper ready. Give the final coordinates of a point that was originally 3, -2, was reflected across the x-axis, and was then moved 6 units up and 3 units to the right.
6,8.
That is correct. Your bonuses are fine arts questions. Answer these about the composer Tchaikovsky. Sometimes called a bell piano, this piano-like instrument is featured in The Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy from his Nutcracker.
Harpsichord, maybe? Harpsichord.
Celesta. Music for this type of dance is heard in the Nutcracker's Blank of the Flowers and Blank of the Snowflakes.
Yeah.
Waltz.
Waltz is the correct answer. Our next toss-up is a social studies question. A 2021 online chess tournament featured 9 teams from countries surrounding this body of water, including Germany, Russia, Finland, and
The North Sea.
That is incorrect. I'll read the whole thing again. A 2021 online chess tournament featured 9 teams from countries surrounding this body of water, including Germany, Russia, Finland, and the winner, Sweden. Identify this body of water in Northern Europe that also borders Poland, Denmark, and the 3 countries Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia.
The Baltic Sea?
Baltic is the correct answer. Your bonuses are science questions. His 5-year voyage aboard the HMS Beagle gave him ample research material from which to write books in later years. Name this British scientist who spent 3 of those 5 years sailing around the South American coast.
Charles Darwin.
Darwin is correct. After the voyage, he became friends with this Scotsman, whose book, Principles of Geology, he had taken with him to South America.
James Joyce.
Okay. James Joyce.
Sir Charles Lyell.
No.
Our next toss-up is a fine arts question. What objects are featured in the Japanese painting Hibiscus, the Piet Mondrian work called Amaryllis, Vincent van Gogh's
Flowers.
Flowers is the correct answer. Your bonuses are in the miscellaneous category. Name these types of hand saws. It is commonly used by plumbers to cut metal or PVC pipe.
Pipes. I don't know.
No, it's like the suspension or tension saw.
Tension saw.
It is a hacksaw. This saw with a U-shaped frame is often used for cutting wood in a shop class.
But isn't that also a hacksaw?
No.
Oh, I don't know. Go for it.
Bandsaw?
Handsaw.
Handsaw.
Coping saw. Our next toss-up is a science question. When used within a microturbine, this device improves efficiency by acting as a heat exchanger, transferring heat from the turbine's exhaust airstream back to the turbine's supply airstream. Name this device from the Latin for recovering health.
Revitalizer?
No, that's incorrect.
A generator.
No, it is a recuperator. Our next toss-up is in the miscellaneous category. The trailer for this 2-person game features a book of love named Dr. Hakim.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two is the correct answer. Your bonuses are social studies question. Answer these about the Louisiana Purchase. This New Yorker, who administered the presidential oath to George Washington, was ambassador to France when the purchase became available.
Clinton? No. George Clinton.
Go for it.
George Clinton.
Robert Livingston.
Oh, Livingston.
This successor to Thomas Jefferson as president was sent to France by Jefferson to buy land east of the Mississippi River. He had to exceed his authority from Jefferson in order to make the purchase.
James Madison.
No, it's James Monroe. Our next toss-up is a literature question. His novel, Sag Harbor, is set in a well-to-do area of New York where kids spend the summer at their parents' beach houses. His 2021 novel, Harlem Shuffle, features the conflict between the honest man named Ray and his crooked cousin Freddie. Name this African-American author whose 2 Pulitzer Prizes are for his novels The Underground Railroad and The Nickel Boys.
Jordan Peele.
That's incorrect.
Frederick Douglass.
No, it's Colson Whitehead. Our next toss-up question is a math question, pencils and paper ready. 2 students are given a survey to fill out. Student A checks 16 items on the survey, while student B checks 12 items. If both students checked 9 of the same items, how many items were checked by exactly 1 student?
10.
10 is the correct answer. Your bonuses are social studies questions. The COP26 conference on climate change took place in the fall of 2021. The conference was held in this largest Scottish city by population, 20% larger than Edinburgh.
Glasgow.
Glasgow is correct. Joe Biden attended this conference, as did this outgoing Chancellor of Germany.
Merkel. It's like Merkel.
No. Is it?
Merkel.
Merkel?
Something like that.
Merkel.
Merkel, correct. Our next toss-up is a social studies question. This man, who bought an AR-15 rifle with a government stimulus check, was helping to defend a car dealership business from rioters in 2020 when he ended up in a dangerous situation that...
Kyle Rittenhouse.
That's correct. Bonuses are miscellaneous categories. Name these TV series nominated for Best Drama at the 2021 Emmy Awards. This Netflix series garnered acting nominations for Olivia Colman, Emma Corrin, Josh O'Connor, and Helena Bonham Carter.
I have no idea.
Netflix drama.
It's a Netflix drama. Probably like Ozark or something.
Was it Bridgerton? No, that was more recent.
I don't know.
Ozark.
The Crown. Nominations for this Hulu series, based on a novel often read in AP literature classes, included Elizabeth Moss, Madeline Brewer, Max Minghella, and Bradley Whitford.
I would think like Wuthering Heights. Sure. Because like everybody reads that.
Wuthering Heights.
The Handmaid's Tale. Our next toss-up is a fine arts question. The aria sung by this character upon his entrance is titled Largo al Factotum and includes the words, I am in such request, nor night or nor day I've rest, old men and maidens, matrons and gallants. Have you my wig there? Quick here and shave me. Give the name of this title character of a Rossini opera who is better known as the Barber of Seville.
Othello.
That's incorrect.
John.
Figaro. That is the end of the first half. We'll take a moment, total up the scores, and see where we stand at the halfway point. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have a halftime score of Niceville High School, 95 points, Crestview High School, 50 points. Since we have no substitutions, let's go ahead and start with our next toss-up question, which is a science question. This feathered creature that lived some 70 million years ago during the Cretaceous period was about the size of a turkey, but made to appear twice as large and scary in the movie Jurassic Park.
Velociraptor?
That's correct. Your bonuses are social studies question. Name these types of government from characteristics of their top leaders. Each answer ends in the letters O-C-R-A-C-Y. The top leader is one person who has total power over everything.
Autocracy.
Autocracy is correct. The top leaders are also top scientists or computer experts.
Technocracy.
Technocracy is the correct answer. Our next toss-up is a language arts question. This word describes a connector with 2 female inlets that can be used by a fire department to attach hoses and refill a building's sprinklers with water. This 7-letter word also describes an Asian cat that now has both modern and traditional breeds. Give this adjective for conjoined twins.
Siamese.
Siamese is the correct answer. Your bonuses are science questions. This chemistry lab technique can determine how much of a base will neutralize a given acid. Name this technique that slowly adds the base to the acid until the acid is neutralized.
Titration.
Titration is correct. A small piece of this paper may be placed in the acid and indicate the end of the titration by changing color.
Litmus paper.
Litmus paper is the correct answer. Our next toss-up is a social studies question. Named from a 19th century minstrel show character played in blackface by a white man, what 2-word term describe...
Jim Crow.
Jim Crow is the correct answer. Your bonuses are fine arts questions. Name these items of clothing from their examples. Culottes, jodhpurs, and bell-bottoms.
Jeans.
Pants.
Pants are correct. Espadrille, brogan, slingback.
Ooh. Vest, maybe? Slingback? No, that sounds...
Come back.
No, try just like...
Vest.
Shoes.
Oh.
Our next toss-up is a miscellaneous question. In July 2021, the U.S. Olympic men's basketball team lost a tune-up game to this country's team that was led by Israeli League player Caleb Agada and Miami Heat player Gabe Vincent. Name this country ranked as Africa's top team.
Niger.
Say that again, please.
Niger.
That's incorrect. I'll read the whole question again. In July 2021, the U.S. Olympic men's basketball team lost a tune-up game to this country's team that was led by Israeli League player Caleb Agada and Miami Heat player Gabe Vincent. Name this country ranked as Africa's top team in 2021 that might have beaten the U.S. even worse if they'd also used NBA stars DeAndre Ayton, Andre Iguodala, and Victor Oladipo.
Nigeria.
Nigeria is correct. Your bonuses are social studies questions. Answer these about Russia's Peter the Great. He signed the Treaty of Nystad in 1721 that concluded this war against Sweden's King Charles XII.
Great Northern War.
Yeah.
Great Northern War.
Great Northern War is correct. He established Russia's first military base at Taganrog on this sea just northeast of and smaller than the Black Sea.
The Caspian?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Is it?
The Caspian Sea.
The Sea of Azov. Our next toss-up is a math question. Pencils and paper ready. 2 resistors have a combined resistance of 300 ohms. Give the value of the larger resistor if it is 12 ohms less than 5 times the smaller resistor.
Time.
The answer is 248 ohms. Our next toss-up is a social studies question. Identify the consumer product whose brand names include Caress, Coast, Aveeno, Lifebuoy, Camay, Zest, Lux, Neutrogena, Dial.
Body wash.
That is incorrect. I will read the entire thing again. Identify the consumer product whose brand names include Caress, Coast, Aveeno, Lifebuoy, Camay, Zest, Lux, Neutrogena, Dial, Irish Spring, Dove, and Ivory.
Moisturizer?
No, it's soap.
Oh.
Not all of those are body washes. Our next toss-up is a literature question. Its title character dies near the North Pole after chasing a being...
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is the correct answer. Your bonuses are social studies question. Identify these scandals during the presidency of Ulysses S. Grant. The 1869 scandal on Black Friday involved a plot by Jay Gould and James Fisk to corner the market on this valuable substance.
The whiskey scandal.
The whiskey scandal.
Gold.
Oh.
This sham construction company was chartered to build the Union Pacific Railroad and gave out its profits to its board of directors and shareholders.
Is that credit union or whatever it's called?
Credit Mobilier Act. Yes, just say Credit Mobilier Act.
Credit Mobilier Act.
Credit Mobilier is correct. Credit Mobilier. Our next toss-up is a social studies question. This city was named by the French in 1862 and later nicknamed the Pearl of the Orient. This city became the capital of its country's southern region when the country was divided in 1955.
Korea.
That is incorrect. I will start over. This city was named by the French in 1862 and later nicknamed the Pearl of the Orient. This city became the capital of its country's southern region when the country was divided in 1955.
Saigon.
Saigon is the correct answer. Your bonuses are literature questions. Name the Old Testament book written by Moses that contains the story of, first, how Joshua and Caleb tell Moses that the promised land can be conquered.
Deuteronomy.
Numbers. And the story of Moses parting the Red Sea.
Exodus.
Exodus is the correct answer. That is the end of our match today. We'll take a minute, total up our final scores, and we'll return to crown our champion. At the end of today's match, we have a final score of Crestview High School 55, Niceville High School 215. That makes Niceville High School the champion of this year's 2022 Okaloosa County High School Academic Tournament. I'd like to present this trophy to the team captain. That only leaves me to say thank you to our sponsors, Microsystems Incorporated and 98 Barbecue. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next year.